Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Clone Wars Season 7 review.
Ooh, I am the 501st Clone Trooper Taylor Field.
Why did that take you so long?
I don't know. So many options I couldn't narrow down to one.
Yeah, there was a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't joined us before, I just put Clone IMDb. That's how good I am this morning. But if you haven't joined us before, we are reviewing every episode of Clone Wars Season 7. As I just said, we've reviewed every single episode of Clone Wars, so you can go back and check that out. But this is episode 3. Do you remember the title of it? I know what the title is, but I don't know really how to pronounce it.
You know what the title is? You don't know how to pronounce it?
It's like On the Wings of Keeradaks or something. Wrong Clone Wars. So, see, if you're a longtime fan, you know that every episode I go and I pull up the title and the description from Wikipedia. This is the first time in history that Wikipedia does not have the description. So then I went to... Now I've gone to 2 different Clone Wars. I had that hand-drawn animation. Now I just got the movie. Finally, IMDb has that. So hopefully... But yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that last thing.
On the Wings of Keeradaks.
On the Wings of Keeradaks. Let's see. IMDb, fingers crossed that it's going to have... Let's see. It's the lowest fan rated on IMDb so far at 8 stars. So, On the Wings of Keeradaks with Echo recovered, Rex, Bad Batch, and Anakin Skywalker look to fight their way out of a separatist base. Shouldn't it be the Bad Batch? Why is it Rex, Bad Batch, and Anakin?
Rex, Bad Batch, and Anakin. Yeah, is there a comma in between them?
They are, yeah.
Rex, comma, Bad Batch?
Yeah,
I think that counts then.
I guess so. Taylor, what did you think about this episode?
I'm seeing a lot of hate at the fact that it was a short episode. But,
a lot of hate. Where are you in these? Is your
Facebook comments in the group. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think it was a good episode. I was surprised when I saw how short it was, but it's not any takeaway for me.
That's one thing. You say you give them shit, but that was the first thing you said to me when you messaged me. Like, it's only 18 minutes. So you're on that bandwagon too. You're being that.
Oh no, I was just stating wow, this is 18 minutes. This is a short episode.
No, he's like, it's 18 minutes. Fuck George Lucas, I can't believe this guy. And fuck Dave Filoni. You should have seen this whole message. It was like a diatribe. Continue.
I love Dave Filoni.
Filoni.
So the episode, though, overall, I thought it was good. I loved the action, and I thought we got a juicy amount. And I mean, overall, I'm just. Are we spoilers right now or non-spoilers?
No, non-spoilers. How long have we been doing this?
It's
almost
early.
5 years.
I've totally went over my head.
We're coming on 5 years in July. What do we do? We're gonna give away the ending of the movie right here, and the opening. No, we're not.
Then we'll give a season finale reveal.
Yeah.
So
Echo is Snoke. He's a Palpatine clone as well.
Clone.
He's Rey's dad.
I just think the episode had a good amount of action. I think
a good amount. That's all it is.
It definitely, did its job as that filler episode that's getting us to the finale, because the finale is going to have, I'm assuming, it'll be a little bit longer. It's going to have more story in it, and it's going to have that kind of climactic ending that we're kind of like looking forward to, and then we're moving on to the next arc. So I think, we're bound to get like 1 or 2 of these filler episodes, I think, in this season.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like all together, or 2 more, like 1 to 2 more?
I think we'll get like 1, maybe 2 more. I think it's fair to see, like, maybe there's a high chance of having 1 per arc. But that being said, I think after the Embaran series, I feel like none of those were filler to me. So I feel like, there's quite a high chance we could get maybe 1 or no more filler episodes at all. Yeah. Especially because we're going back to like Ahsoka and the other main things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad episode. I do enjoy it. I think I'm not as mad as the fans, because like I've said before, I like this show a lot, but it's not like one of my favorites. But I think I understand, because I was that way with The Mandalorian, where there's only so many episodes, especially for this. Mandalorian is different because it's coming back. This is it for Clone Wars. After this, there's no more episodes. So I kind of get that. And, sometimes you can always say you need filler, but we'll talk about in spoilers from the begin this episode to the end this episode. There's not anything that's really needed in this episode. You could have just started off going into the finale like, oh, this is the story. Like, you could really insinuate stuff that had happened, and even then it could have just it was strange. So, and this is Clone Wars does this a lot. That's why when we reviewed lots of arcs, I love the arcs that were always story driven. Like, it was always like the setup, the finale, and then the middle you kind of had a story, and then some arcs you had another story one, or you had this kind of action. And I would say filler, because to me filler, nothing that big really happened, nothing you couldn't add, especially like the ending. There's like maybe 15 seconds of a tease, but you could just add that to the beginning of next episode.
A tease? So, you think it's a tease?
Oh yeah, 100%. What was the
something negative?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's your bad stuff lies ahead for our heroes here. So I think this is a common Clone Wars thing. So I wasn't thrown off guard, but I do understand why people are kind of like, oh, if it's only 12 episodes left at all, and this is one of them. I think it's a good episode. I just don't think it's not one I would rewatch. It's one that honestly I still think like if I was watching this arc, I probably could skip, because even the action, it's good, but there's nothing like even the set pieces last week where you had one of the Bad Batch like riding the whatever the creatures and whatnot. So there wasn't anything that really stood out to me. So yeah, do you have anything else, Nonswell, you want to say?
No, I think that's it.
No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to spoilers. 3, 2, 1.
GeekVerse assemble.
Yeah, so Rey's dad is a clone of Palpatine, and Palpatine's a clone. Hashtag canon, doesn't matter, right, Taylorfield?
I won't agree to that.
Yeah, so like I'd say the ending is pretty bad when he's just like, good to have you back, Echo, and Echo's like, yeah, just like old times, and then it's like creepy.
It was not that shady. That's
no,
like
it
back
wasn't.
alley drug deal.
It wasn't, but he said it in like a very disturbing, like just like old times, and then it played like a dark side sort of.
The music I couldn't really decipher, because it was like maybe there was
my ears weren't working in that moment.
Hint of like shadiness, but then it ended with a positive tune or a note.
The only reason I think it ended that way is because they went into the credits. That's why. So I think it gave that kind of negative thing. Because you've been right about Echo this whole time, that they'd find him in episode 2 and blah blah blah. You've been right about everything about they'd let Anakin know, but I still said that. I still thought there was maybe more to this, and maybe if it wasn't planned, like I think something's wrong with Echo, and I just feel like he's gonna be like a Terminator, or like something where he can't control it. So I just feel like I just feel like with that little I don't know, it felt too creepy to me. It didn't feel heroic in that moment, because if it's just completely heroic, you don't play any sort of shady music. You don't play like even a hint of it. That's not heroic. So either it's him gonna do something, or just like maybe he has some chip in him where they can track him, and that's like attack. I just think no matter what, like having Echo with them is gonna lead to some bad things, because obviously Echo's not gonna make it out alive. So I think Echo is gonna be. I've said this before, the demise them, but for a while I was like, oh, maybe Taylor is right, he's fine, it was just for the plans. But I don't know, there's something off in that that last ending.
What do you think are the odds of the next episode being like Rex's depart?
Rex is who?
Rex like departing from the show.
I didn't know he does depart from the show.
Well, I don't think he may not. I'm just thinking like maybe
is that a Rebel spoiler?
Well, he's in Rebels.
Yeah, I could see that. I would kind of hope for that. That's always my question about these last episodes, because there was debates of like, were these episodes that were already planned out, and then when season 7 didn't happen, they just kind of sat there because they had those unfinished one, right? Or did they change themselves? I'd hope if we don't see Rex leave at in the like further down the season, I think showing him now leaving would be a good idea. And that's I do because I'm wondering next episode what it's gonna be, if it's gonna be a lot more battling as they have to like leave this planet. Like I hope not, as this episode kind of happens. So I do hope next week is purely story based. But I could see that. But then again, if they had already planned out these episodes far back, and maybe they didn't want to give Rex a finale and they want to use Rex more, then maybe he's still around. Maybe they just like the breadcrumbs of him just being like, one day I'm gonna leave.
Well, I'm just wondering what because the next episode something tips Anakin off where he's aggressively walking towards Admiral Trench. So, and I'm just thinking like maybe it is because Echo self-destructs or does something, and Anakin thinks that Rex dies, and that's Rex's like departure, and Anakin goes on like a killing spree. So
oh wow, he's gonna see. I don't know if he'd think he would think that Rex would die, because I feel like the relationship excuse me, that's what happens when you work for him. When you have the first or last episode when they're like building this relationship between Rex and Anakin more, and Padme talking about how they're alike and blah blah. I think it's more if you're trying to get the whole Anakin's really down, he's losing people. I think it's bigger if Rex chooses to leave like Ahsoka than dying, because dying, it's like he's still gonna feel bad about it, but it's just gonna be like, well, Rex died in honor, or this is just kind of like, oh. But then again, I don't think
he's not allowed to just leave though.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it, right? And maybe he would just fake his death or something like that. So yeah, I guess. And that's, I mean, I haven't watched Rebels. I haven't got to that part yet when maybe his story is revealed. So I'm actually gonna say they're just gonna drop hints towards him leaving, but we're not gonna actually see it. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that happening. Back on the front with Echo, though. I mean, I'm inclined to say that they got something up their sleeves, but I think for the most part he'll probably be good. But I think he's definitely gonna die.
Oh yeah, he's not making it out.
No, even though he did seem like pretty much 100% after a couple minutes. He was like Pet
Sematary.
His skin turned back normal, and he was like telling them what to do, and got him back to the ship, and he was like firing his blasters and everything. He was
two-handed in the sky. Look, guys.
He was on fire. So, yeah.
I guess I won't say he's on fire. I'd say he's maybe a bit back to normal, but yeah, I think he's a goner. And then, so we talked about this. I still think the Bad Batch is a goner, and I think that's where, if they don't die, then I'll take it back. But if they die, I think you could have killed one off in this episode too.
I thought it'd be Wrecker, to be honest, at that one moment.
Well, yeah, just to give this episode, like I said, there's nothing really noteworthy, because what happens is, so last week they found Echo. That's where we start. And then they have to fight their way out of that base, and they go back to the, like, whatever, peacekeeper people. They have another battle, and then they end with Echo being like, everything's back to normal, or whatever the deal is. So it's like, that's the only thing to me. And even if he's not bad or not shady, then you don't even need that at all. Like, you can just said, like, they found Echo and they left that planet. You didn't need to do this whole, like, they really go off the planet. I know some people like the mission episodes, so that's fine. But that's why, if Bad Batch, any of them die next week, or I would say if they die, they're all going to die. I don't think one's going to die. So that's why I thought you could have killed one off this week, put some stakes, and then kill more off next week. But maybe they're trying to make us a bunch of kids thinking like, oh, the Bad Batch is going to make it, but they're not.
You're
making
convinced that they're going to die. I'm convinced they're going to live. I think they're going to pull through. This is my Rogue One redemption.
Maybe. I just think, like I said, something that Echo, whatever happens to Echo might lead to their death, because it's like these characters we just met. So it's like, oh yeah, we have some sort of connection, but it's not any characters that would affect the rest of the series going forward and canon. So I do think they're going to die, but there's a chance. I feel less confident about it now, but they had some close calls this week.
Yeah, they did, especially Wrecker. I liked how he threw all these people up, the shaft, and that whole droid. What?
Threw him up the shaft. Get up there.
That droid or whatever.
Wreck it.
That was super, super cool, because he just kind of like floated in and was like electrocuting everything. And
yeah,
shout outs to Tech for his like call thing, by the way, for calling those, I'm assuming they're the Keeradaks, those beasts, and
you mean the alien peacekeepers,
the flying
okay things. I thought you were calling those people beasts. I'm like, wow, you're terrible. You beasts, you don't want the war, you beasts.
But yeah, I like how he used the Acklay noise from Attack of the Clones. That was super cool. But yeah, I think the only few people that I thought were gonna die was definitely Wrecker, and then
Anakin. No.
Yeah, Anakin. What's his name?
Hunter?
No, not Hunter. And
Cooker? Mether? They got them all here on the Bad Batch.
What's his name? Not Quick Scope.
Oh, we forgot last time.
God, why can't I remember?
Shooter
McGavin.
Single scope. Whatever. Scouter.
Deadshot, Deathstroke.
Now we get their names here.
Oh God, what is it?
If you can name him before we do, jump in the comments below and beat me to it. The Bad Batch. I don't know, that's some Jason Momoa movie. Because the guy with the crosshair for an eye, right?
Crosshairs.
Oh. Right, he has a crosshair on his eye. How obvious.
Crosshairs. Yeah, so I thought he almost could have been a goner because he fell off. And then Wrecker, I thought, would have been a good time to kill two of them because Wrecker somehow fell and then grabbed the thing with his legs and then grabbed Crosshairs at the same time, which physically I don't know if it's possible, but in the Clone Wars it is.
And Wrecker was a goner too when he threw one out and Anakin got him and he was like, "Oh, what's going on?" He
threw one out?
When he threw a bunch of people, remember, up the shaft, it looked like he was gone, but then Anakin force pulled them up and everything.
Just in time. I thought for sure he was going to die. I thought too, like those grenades that he threw down, I thought it killed Mark Tambourine.
Me too, and I was like, man, I mean, Taylor, so much crap about canon. If they killed him here and then he's back, Revenge of the Sith getting sliced down by Anakin, I'm neutral. What was the other thing I was going to say? Again, same as last week, the only time where I think they made it like almost too many droids was when they're on the bridge, because it's just like, so like they're on this bridge. It was really cool, like animation, cinematography, where they're on like this small little bridge thing. They're all in the middle, and then like there's droids coming from both sides, and then like zoom out. It looked really cool. But the thing was, my thing was last week. There's so many times where the droids show up and they just don't shoot. This was that too. The droids stood there for like a good 30 seconds, just like if you all, maybe if Anakin survives, but if you all just decide to fire at the same time, like. I know
they
it's
all
droids. Yeah, I know, but it's just like you look at, like, I know it's droids, but then you look at like Order 66, like how many Jedis just die from like 3 troopers shooting at the 3 times? So it's just like the droids like, what do we do? But like they didn't say that. It was just it was weird. So I've hated a few times where they've like these past 3 episodes they've loved putting characters in the middle of like 2 droids and then the droids do nothing. It's just like, look at this threat.
It's for the kids, you know.
It is 100%. But like when you try to like, you know, get to that level, it's like these droids just shoot, like think of something, you know, or like even just have them on one side and have Anakin like being a badass and blocking all these bullets. But no, he's just like blocking one droid at a time because there's only one droid that shoots at a time. So
I have to say, this episode overall, like I love that sequence. I think it was very cool aesthetically. But
who fell again? Some fell, and I think Wrecker catches them.
Not quick scope. Crosshairs fell, and then Wrecker
quick scope. I'm quick scope. Look at my Katie record.
But yeah, this episode though, I'd say overall it gave me some Alien vibes a little bit, like when they were like sealing the doors and doing like the whatever you call it, sealing of the doors with the torch.
Sealing of the doors, you know, sealing of the doors.
They were like holding it and the door opened up and the droid's head came in. It felt just like Alien, and then like they popped it out, and then even when they were going through the vents and the droids started coming out through the sides, and that cool moment again, it felt like Alien to me. And then especially when they started to like glide and fly, then I felt like, okay, this to me is reminding me straight up of Starship Troopers now all of a sudden. So
Starship Troopers,
which is an actually fantastic movie.
Never been one for me. I've seen it once and that was enough for me. I don't even think it's a bad movie. I just don't love it as much as everybody. It's one of those cult movies. Everyone has cult movies where they're just like, I don't get it. And that's kind of me. I go, I don't get this.
I'm doing my part.
No idea.
Oh, but it felt like there were so many different kind of like nostalgic like Alien kind of like films that were just kind of thrown into the mix with this, and I like that. I feel like Dave Filoni's always been like culturally impacted by things and has shaped these episodes.
Only Dave Filoni's been culturally impacted by things. I can't remember. These are my last 2 notes, and then I think I've said everything because, like we said, it's a pretty basic episode. Like literally, they escape the base. We talk about just on the bridge there. They have a big fight to get away, and then they ride those monsters. And we'll get to this next part with the peacekeeper people. But before that, there's like when they pull up the sound of the monsters. Who's the guy that pulls up the sound? It's the tech guy.
That's tech.
What's the crosshairs guy, or what's the guy with the tattoo that has crosshairs on his eye? Oh, it's crosshairs. What's the tech guy? Oh, it's tech. I did like, I can't remember who said the line, but he's like, oh, I have the voice of this creature or whatnot. And then someone's like, you do? And then one of the Bad Batch people was like, he records everything. It's a hobby.
I think that was Rex that said it, and
how does
Hunter responded.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, how does Rex know he records everything? But I like that. He records everything. It's a hobby. And then, so the thing is, last week we were introduced to these people that I quite like, this alien race, and they are all about, they don't want nothing to do with this war, right? So they bring back Echo, and of course there's a bunch of separatists there and everything like this. So they're like, you brought the war back to us. There's like this, you know, tense argument going on, and then Rex just brings in Echo, and she's like, look what they did to my people. He doesn't even make it that obvious. He's like, this could be you next. He's just like, like, this
could be you.
This is
you do drugs. This could
well,
be
he didn't.
you.
I thought they were gonna say that. Like, it is some a kid show we just talked about. So it wasn't like, to me, him being like, look at my man, look what they did to him. You could just be like, I don't know the issue here. Like, you could be completely in the wrong. Like, yeah, experimenting on someone's not great, but it's just like him just like, look at him. Like, it's
There's
just
no evidence to support the fact. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, yeah, like, why would that make them be like, we should fight? I still think
they
should
were
have been
afraid
like,
that could have been like the chief was afraid it could be his people, right?
I know, but or they could have just been like, oh, or if we stay at the war, that won't be us. You know, like, there wasn't any
But it
hard
was too
evidence.
late, though, because now that they were there,
Well, yeah,
and
they
the
were
droids saw them.
It was
they
a
were
forced
immediately-
agreement. It
Yeah,
was so Rex being like, look at this, you need to help us. To me, he was like, we kind of have to help you because you brought everyone here. So I thought that was a really shitty move from Rex and company to do.
Yeah, but that's Rex and Anakin. Like, if you are neutral in the war, you immediately are not a friend of Anakin.
You're not allowed to be Switzerland in Star Wars. He's like, you coward,
And,
you separatist supporter.
Like, I would definitely like.
I can't even tell Padme's pregnant.
I would definitely portray like more of like a neutral kind of stance because I think it's very
like Rom Tombont or whatever his name
like
is.
Like who?
Rom Tombont or Mad Tombaront. What's his
Mark
name?
Tambaroni.
Tombaroni?
Tambourine or whatever his name.
Yeah, the robot man.
Yeah, no, I definitely think being neutral is good. Except Mark is definitely not. We saw he was bad from Attack of the Clones, but in this case,
his name's not Mark. We looked it up last week.
I definitely think though that I just find it funny because there's been incidents in the past where like they've been neutral or independent, and Anakin just gets so angry, like, you're stupid, you need to fight in the
Emperor
war.
Put that on him. His name it's not even started with an M. It's Wat Tambor.
Wat Tambor. There you go, ladies
Wat
and gentlemen.
Tambor,
Not
favorite,
Mark Tamburino.
Yeah, Mark Tamburino. Yeah. So you think the ending with Echo is not anything deceiving or evil?
Well, it's hard because like there's definitely something there, but I don't feel like it was anything major. I feel like they brushed it off pretty quick because
the ending of the
Rex
episode
is like just like old times, and then it pans to
it was more creepy
Echo
than that.
standing alone.
Maybe it wasn't as creepy as my Barbosa, but it was still just like old times. he turned into Cat Bane, but no, we're not gonna see Cat Bane in this final season.
No, we won't. Originally they had Boba Fett versus Cad Bane as a story arc before it was canceled, but
God damn.
Yeah, I think that's where Boba Fett would have probably killed him, but I'm not sure.
No, let's get off this train.
It's not canon anymore.
Good.
But yeah, in this sense, like when Echo said that, just like old times, I was looking for any like facial distinguishing aspects to show like maybe he's bad, but he looked genuine. So
see, I didn't tell you. I think we read people so differently, and we'll find out next week. I just took it as like cold, like emotionless. So like I don't take that as good. You're saying if people are talking to me and they're cold emotional, I don't be like, I trust this man.
Well, I don't know.
Watch my kids.
It didn't seem it to
just
me.
Like old times, Travis. All right.
Yeah.
See ya.
To me, it felt like he was just he was saying just like old times, but he was implying like it's not ever going to be like just old times because he's half cyborg now.
I guess so. Yeah.
So it's very
He'll never
different.
pee again.
I mean, Rex is saying
him and
like,
Rex can never get it on in the middle of midnight in the tent. Yeah.
I mean, to Rex, it sounds like or once we get back home, we're gonna slap you in some clone armor and send you back out there. And Echo is thinking like, I'm not gonna be able to do what I can. So I think he's probably gonna like sacrifice himself or do something. But he's going to give them a lot of information first because he's got all of the separatist info.
Yeah,
in his
they
mind.
talked about that, how he gave the information on the clones, but in turn he got all their information. So, yeah. Touch my blaster,
And
Rex.
plus, like...
Circular motion. Circular motion.
It didn't seem like Wat Tambor was like... he didn't seem like super happy that Echo was taken and like as a contingency plan. It seemed like, oh no, we lost our years of progress.
I'm telling you, I think he's programmed. There's something up with Echo. I'm telling you.
Maybe. I don't know. There's a slight possibility, but I'm leaning the other way. And I think he's definitely going to die because he's going to be the clone. But my prediction is Echo is going to be good still. And my prediction is the Bad Batch is going to stay alive.
Wow, those are two bold ones.
If these both come true, then I'm reinstating my credibility.
I don't know about that, Mr. Jurassic World, New Era, or whatever.
It's all Trevorrow's fault.
I wouldn't go that way. That's what Kathleen Kennedy said about episode 9. And then we got what we got. You got anything else on this episode?
No. Just I love seeing, I guess, the action sequences of just Hunter and like Wrecker using like those like vibro blades and just like do the melee hand-to-hand
Vibro
combat.
blades, okay.
Yeah,
not vibrating blades.
Vibrating blades. No, those are for the girl clone troopers. Just kidding.
That's for Rex and Echo at night. It's like, look, I've kept this for years. Your vibrating blades, just like old times.
Oh no. Yeah, good action though.
Anakin's just waking up. He thinks he's hearing sand people, but no, it is good action, right? Yeah, it's just Echo. I haven't felt this blade in so many years. What would you give it a rating? How many thumbs?
I would give it a 1 thumb out of 2.
1 thumb out of 2. I'll give it like a 1 and like a 2.5, like quarter thumb
just
up.
like
like
old times.
Not a 1.5 because I feel like it was a good action episode, so it gets that 1. But the reason to get the 1.5 because I always give 2 stars to either an action episode that's just like amazing, like a Rookies, or there's some story elements in here. I felt like the action was good. It moved along on a good pace. It was only 18 minutes, so it was quick. But I felt that nothing, like I said, really stands out to me in this one. But I don't think it was like a. I think there's some episodes that are just a 1, so it's like a little bit better than like a 1 star, so or a 1 thumb. So there you go, 1 thumb from Taylor, 1.25 from me. So
boom.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask you on IMDb, what do you think are the top 3 rated episodes by fans? Give me number 1.
Darkness over Umbara.
That's because that's the Krell arc.
Yeah.
That's in the top 3, but it's not that episode. 1 from that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Darkness of Umbara will be number 3.
No.
It's number 2.
It's that. No. I'm saying the arc of Krell. There's an episode from there, but it's not the Darkness one.
Oh, I don't remember all the other names.
There's the number 3 is the Carnage of Krell. I'll still give you the point because you got it. It's Rex and the troopers refused to execute.
Yeah,
so
that would be my second pick.
So you got 1 and 2.
I would say the other one would be.
I think number 1 should be pretty obvious, but
I feel like it's
you.
the one that includes like Maul and Oppress fighting Sidious.
What? Well, maybe I'll give you this one because it's number 1.
From the Mandalorian
It's
arc.
lawless. Yeah, it's taken over leadership at Death Watch. Jedi cannot officially interfere. Obi-Wan Kenobi travels Mandalore. So it's when Satine gets killed.
Yeah.
Is it the same episodes as Palpatine and him fighting, or is that a separate episode? It's separate, isn't that?
I think it's separate.
I think it's the one before.
It's the one right before.
Yeah. So yeah, when Satine gets killed, that's number 1, and then number 2 is it's in season 5. I'll give you this.
It's in season 5.
Yeah.
Probably when Ahsoka. It's probably the final episode, isn't it? When
It's
Ahsoka
close,
leaves?
yeah. So you're pretty much close.
I'm
It was the
one
wrong
off with every
Jedi.
pick.
He's put on trial. Must face Galactic Senate. Search a way to prove. So again, I think it's like kind of it's in that. It's right before she's on the run or whatnot. So, but there you go. It's all the later season stuff. So that's there you go. I just thought
Yeah,
that's
the first
funny.
2 seasons don't really have much.
The first 3.5. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode, please go down below and subscribe for the video and audio feeds. If you forgot to do this at the beginning, that's what happens when we do these casts when we're nice and tired. Taylor, where can they find us?
Find us all over the internet. Just type in GeekVerse Space Podcast. Check out our website, geekverse.ca, and then Facebook, GeekVerse Podcast, because you'll find lots of awesome stuff, including our Star Wars The Clone Wars poll that is rolling out right now. It changes every day at 6 p.m., and as this episode is live tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, next round starts, and it is Jedi Knight Anakin versus the younglings, Katuni and Gunji and all those people.
Very disappointing. I love those younglings, and you had to put them up against Anakin. And everyone's like, "Oh, Anakin's so good in the Clone Wars." 1, he's not, and 2, like those kids deserve better. They don't need to get stricken down again for Anakin. You and your polls,
Master, what are we going to do?
The polls just salt in my wounds. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next week. I looked for the title. There was no title for next week's episode. So whatever Clone Wars, yeah, it's done. Disney Plus is over. Sony bought them. So whenever episode 4 drops and whatever the title is, that we'll be back next week to review and break it down. So thank you very much for tuning in this. May the Force be with you
Always.